Hello, and welcome to the first episode of the Black Esquire Podcast. My name is Michelle Jenkins.
And I'm Shelley Whitehead.
And we are your illustrious hosts. We're very excited to come to you today for our first episode, and thank you so much for tuning in. So but before we get started, it's our tradition at Black Esquire Podcast to discuss what we're sipping on. So, Shelley?
I got a mimosa here. Got some Corbel sweet rosé with a little simple orange with mango. You know, I didn't realize how much I needed this drink until we started sipping on it today. It's been a long week, and this is right on time.
You been getting your Black Esquire on?
Yes, I have. What you sipping on?
Well, I'm gonna try and say it bougier than you. I'm sipping on some Corbel as well.
Yes.
Sweet rosé happens to be my favorite form of Corbel, and so I made our drinks today. So we drinking the same thing, and I'm enjoying it very much. Mine has a little bit more Corbel than the simply orange mango.
You need that sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that.
It's okay. No judgment zone, right?
No judgment. This is a safe space.
Which brings me to, so I don't know, Shelley, what we gonna tell them? What is Black Esquire?
Yeah, so Black Esquire, I know you guys heard the intro from Salon, just for us, by us. So Michelle and I, we're both attorneys. I actually don't practice anymore. I have a legal recruiting company called Legal Bee. But before we even get into who I am, but the purpose of Black Esquire is this is a platform for us to discuss issues that affect Black professionals, not just attorneys, but Black professionals in general, topics that nobody's really talking about.
Yes.
And so,
indeed, so the podcast is just, I came to Shelley, and Shelley is one of the only people that really entertains my foolery. And so I was like, oh my God, I had this brilliant idea. Oh my God, we need to do something. And she's like, what, girl? And I'm like, we need to do a podcast. And so
it's like, I love it.
Yes, exactly. And she supported and embraced, and I'm excited. I think in this day and age with our current sitting guy that happens to be in office.
45.
Yes, 45.
We don't even acknowledge his name.
We don't. So you will never hear me say his name. But 45 has created a certain climate that is more, not that it wasn't there before, but more so that that particular climate is sort of amplified by his presence and some of the things that he communicates regularly, whether it be by Twitter fingers or most recently launching what are those paper tiles in the crowds or whatever the thing that might be happening. It creates a space where as an attorney, I'm an attorney that does practice, so and I work for the state, so in government, so the just having to go and be a part of the justice system when I'm repeatedly being told by the media and by different actions that are sort of happening, whether it be a young man or young woman of African American descent being gunned down or, being berated in the press room in the White House, whatever the case may be. I'm repeatedly being given these images that sort of say that I don't belong. And I think this is a nice way for us to sort of combat that feeling and to sort of, and then also to just have some fun and just be ourselves in a good space that welcomes us. And so that is the beauty of the internet. That is the beauty of social media and whatever, hosting source we end up on, that is the beauty of that. That is the beauty of the amendments that enable us to sort of speak freely. So I'm excited about that. I'm really excited about the guests we've got lined up.
Got a lot of great interviews coming up. A lot of poignant topics that you probably haven't heard discussed before, or maybe you talk about it amongst your circle of friends. But so we're hoping that you all will listen in and give us your feedback, you know, on what we're discussing.
Indeed. So I think you got a little bit about who we are and things like that, and I guess you'll stick around and you'll get to know us. You know, just come get to know us. Come have a seat. Listen a little bit.
Yes.
And we will. I'm sure you'll be very entertained.
Yes.
So this brings us to our next topic, which is okay. So I got a funny story for you guys. So Shelley and I are very unapologetically Black, and so we ended up. So today we are actually sitting in front of. I like to, you know, when we have conversations and things, Black people, you know how we do. We eat. So we're eating some freshly fried chicken and some cantaloupe. So we keep it, you know, balanced
With the mimosas.
Yeah,
and
you know, some chips and salsa and things. We're snacking and things like that. And so keeping it light though. Well, anyway, I stepped at Jules to get the cantaloupe, and a young lady was behind me, and I tend to I tend to do this thing. I talk a lot, and I tend to do this thing where I'll like turn around behind me, and if someone is carrying a bottle of wine, I'll ask them why they picked that particular, you know, bottle of wine, or at least engage with them about it, because I love wine. So, and this lady had a bottle of Cab Sauvignon, and I wanted to know about it because some of the cheaper ones are a little too sweet. And, you know, but then you have others that are way too dry. And, you know, that is a very important mix.
You gotta try and find the right one.
Exactly. So, I mean, Love Corkscrew has a really good one. But,
yes,
you know, I gotta go all the way in the city for that.
Right.
So,
well, she's expanding, so hopefully. Actually, yes. No, I think they have. I know this is off topic, but I think she's at Matson Liquors.
Right, she is. I need to start going there. I forgot. She put that on her Instagram.
She did.
Shout out to her. Love Corkscrew is a Black-owned, I guess, wine company.
Yeah.
And does she have a vineyard or no?
Don't have me lie. I'm not sure. But the owner is Krishan Lampley. Like she said, yes, Black owned. She's doing her thing in the Chicagoland area. Her wine is in stores all over.
It's in Targets.
Yeah, Targets, Mariano's.
So do that. Do pick that up. But anyway, so back to this lady behind me in line at the Jules. So she had this cute little bottle. It was a cute little bottle of wine. It was called like First 100 or something like that. And she said it was in City Winery magazine, and it was only like $10, and that was cute or whatever like that. And she was chatting, and she saw I had the Corbel in my hand in addition to the cantaloupe. And she says, "Oh, well, what are you celebrating?" And I said, "Well, actually, I'm celebrating, you know, we're recording our podcast. We're having our first episode recording of the podcast, and I'm excited about it." And she was like, "Oh my goodness, what is it about?" I gave her a little spiel and things like that. But now this lady was white, so I told her that it was about, you know, helping young professionals, you know, navigate being a young professional and being their true selves, their true individual selves in those spaces, which I think is not a lie, but it doesn't, you know, incorporate race. I didn't want to scare the lady in the middle of Jules. You know, I didn't want to be like, Black Lives Matter in the middle of Jules.
Right.
And I'm the one who started the conversation, so I had to be nice. And she was like, "Oh, okay, well, do you have a card? I would love to listen. I'm a young professional." And I thought to myself, I was like, "Well, I don't have a card, but, you know, you can follow us on Instagram at BLK_ESQ. And she was like, "Oh, okay, I want to listen in. I'm a young professional, you know." And I thought to myself, yeah, but you know Black. And that's not to say that people who are minorities can't listen, but, you know, as Shelley, you know, has expressed to me on different instances, you know, it's hard to...
Right. Yeah, it's hard to, you know, broadcast that something that you're doing is like quote unquote Black or is for Black people, especially when you're discussing it with, you know, non-Black people. Because for, you know, white people in general, and I know I'm being not politically correct, but white people, they don't like to be the minority. Yeah. If they feel like what you're doing is for black people, then they automatically feel excluded, like they can't be a part of it. Whereas us as black people, we're used to being the minority. We're used to stuff not being for us, and we go and do stuff anyway. And I was telling Michelle before we started recording, actually, we're both members of the Cook County Bar Association here in Chicago. Yeah, actually, that's how we met. But we won't get into our story too much. but yeah, so I was sitting at the Cook County bar table. There was like a bar association fair at DePaul Law School, and so we had all the law students. Most of them were 1Ls or first year law students, if you're not familiar with the term 1Ls. So they were first year law students, and they had to go around the room basically and learn about all the different bar associations. And so the Cook County Bar, for those who are not familiar, it is the oldest African American bar in the country. But Shout you don't know that.
Shout out to them.
But that's not something you know when you hear Cook County Bar.
Not at all.
Okay, so
you think it's for Cook County?
Yeah, you would just think because we also have a Chicago Bar Association, and then there's a Cook County Bar, so people just automatically think, oh, it's just a bar association in Cook County. So we had the first two people who came. These were very overzealous, very eager white male students. They didn't even ask what the bar association was for. They just started filling out their form.
Using their entitlement, girl.
Yeah, and I was like, go ahead. I didn't have the heart to tell them, this is an all black, a black bar association. So I was like, what, I'm going to let
show up.
Come on.
Use you too.
Exactly. We don't exclude anybody. We want everybody to come. So I didn't say anything. I don't know if that was ethical or not. I'm just saying. They'll be all right. They'll find out.
And you know what? That could be, and I don't want them to be allies. I want them to be co-conspirators. I was listening to Politically Reactive, another podcast, the other day, and they were talking about how there's a difference between allies and co-conspirators, but we will get into that in another episode. But I just want to say, hopefully they will come and they will feel compelled to be a part of it and just really engage, because we don't bite it just because it's a space that says black. It just means just know that these are the topics we're going to focus on. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're not welcome or that you can't learn from it, because I learned from stories about people who are not black all the time. I learned from people who are not minorities all the time. So let's, let that to the wayside. This is our disclaimer. This is the only time we're going to give this disclaimer because, like I said, we are very unapologetic. So,
amen to that.
Yes.
But then it was when I actually gave the spiel to people who actually asked, what's your bar association about? And I started off the spiel with, we're the oldest African American bar association. And most of them were white. You could just see their faces drop. And they
just failed.
Yeah. And they were like, oh, okay. Well, thank you. And then they move on to the other organizations. Yeah. And it's like, you're welcome too. Just because, we're black, doesn't mean you can't, like Michelle said, that you can't learn as well. So don't be like, the law students, and feel like that you can't.
Space, right?
Exactly.
Be very open in this space. So, what today's episode is actually about, now that we've kind of given you the spiel of what Black Esquire is about, what this space will be like, and what the safe space we want to create. So our episode today, we want to talk about sort of business with friends, how friends should do business together, not friends doing business together, but whether friends should do business together, and if they should mix. And to me, I feel like they should mix and they should be shaken, not stirred.
I agree. And I think this topic came about. I don't remember how we discussed it, but I know Michelle and we were in the car talking about it, and it was like, I think we were saying something to the effect that black people in general, we seem to have this fear of collaborating with each other. We feel like we have to do everything ourselves. If we collab with somebody, they're going to take my idea, or I don't want to work with another Black person because they don't do business right, or something like that. And we feel like we have to take on everything ourselves and alienate everyone else. And then that's how, well, there's many reasons why we're not ahead, but that's one of them, because we are afraid of partnership. We don't trust each other with our ideas and with our resources. Even just sharing, ideas and, telling people where to go to do stuff. We don't want to do that.
And what is that really?
I don't know why we have this fear of
somebody gonna just come and take all our shine.
Yeah.
And the thing is, and I posted about this on Instagram the other day. I said it was like a meme, and it was like, I never had to unscrew another woman's light bulb for mine to be, for mine to continue to work. And I think it's important that we understand that applies like across, genders, across races, across just with anyone. It's enough sun for everybody.
And people don't get that.
No, they don't.
They feel like if I let somebody else shine, then that means that I can't shine, or I'm not as dope as this person if I let this person.
But what is the source though? Is that like our competitive nature? Is that specific to, and is it specific to the legal field, right?
Well, I know it's not just the legal field.
You said that with certainty.
I know enough people in outside fields to know that the competition is there outside of even just professionalism. Outside of just being a professional. Yeah. For whatever reason.
I don't know. I do think that law school in particular does sort of breed a certain specific type of competitiveness.
Absolutely.
That's like, you can't have my notes. I don't want you to know about my study group. Everything has to be exclusive. And I think that's such a toxic thing when it comes to being a minority in spaces. Because the thing is I'm not your competition. And it's easier said than done, because there have been many a times that I've been in situations with people who've said these same words that I'm communicating right now to me. But then when put on a hot seat,
excuse me,
you're all right. So when put on a hot seat, like they don't know how to react when someone is equally as ambitious as them. You know what I mean? They don't know how to accept, someone else's ambition and accept someone else's being as brilliant as them. I only want to surround myself with other people who are as busy and booked and, unbothered as I am.
Agree.
And I think you can, and I hate to say this, but there are a lot of people out there who, if you look at their circle, they are the most ambitious one. And I feel like it might be subconscious, but it says something if you're the most accomplished person in your, or the only person that's like going
actually doing something.
Yes. Like nobody wants to, I want us all to be thriving and, working towards something bigger.
Absolutely.
And together.
Absolutely. And they say, I don't know who started this, but you probably see it all around. They say you're like the 5 people, the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. And so if that's the case, then I want to surround myself with beasts. I'm trying to be a beast.
Yes!
So, I'm not trying to be the top dog with a bunch of scrubs.
Wait, hold on. I got to pause right here because people don't know. Shelley is petite. Okay. Shelley is cute. Like Shelley is like the term "cute as a button" definitely applies to Shelley. Now she's sassy and fly, but she is cute as a button. So when she's like, "I want to be a beast," it's like, girl,
it's true. It's true.
And I applaud you, but I just had to let the listeners know.
That's hilarious.
Who is saying she finna beast it? Like.
But that's how I feel. That's how I feel.
You go, girl.
Exactly. And I feel like that's how people should be. That's how you grow and that's how you thrive, when you surround yourself with people who want more in life, who are going to push you and strive for more. And, when you are out there wanting to give up, they're like, no, you keep going.
Yeah. And I think it's important to sort of like have different type of beasts around you.
Oh, absolutely.
So I like to diversify. So I like to do business, and I like to try. Okay, so I moonlight as an event planner, And so I like to try to do business with other African Americans whenever I can.
Right.
And I think that's important because the thing is you're gonna allow that. How can I put this? There's a certain community that you feel when you're able to do good business with another African American.
That is so true.
So, like, when I can book a DJ and he's or she is African American and they like rock it, I'm like, yes, I can put you in my book and I can keep you around and I can trust you a little bit more, to really encapsulate what I feel and what I'm trying to convey. Even with our logo person, shout out to Prentice Tiggs. He did a wonderful job.
He did so good. We gave him such a hard time.
We did. Y'all no lie. We get about 60 different emails. Let me get his I'm trying to find his Facebook handle real quick so I can plug him for y'all.
Yes, he did such a good job with our logo.
He slayed it.
He really did.
But we did give him a hard time. And
that's because we don't draw, but we have an idea of what we're looking for, and I guess we weren't communicating that correctly for him, and so we were like,
well, just to be fair, I sketched something. I don't draw. I'm an attorney. I sketched something. Like, I just drew a little woman. Like, he was like, I got you. And I was glad. So he did a wonderful job. He was so patient. It's Design X as in xylophone, Ray Studios LLC. Design X-Ray Studios LLC. He did a wonderful job. And he does like t-shirts and stuff, so maybe we'll get some of our merchandise from him. We'll see, we'll see what he works out for us. But shout out to him as well.
Yes.
He's Prentice Tiggs on Facebook. That's his name. That's his personal page. So Google Design X-Ray Studios. He has a wonderful website too. So yeah, but what my point is I just really do my best to try and reach out to African Americans and try and, engage in that sort of community. Because like I said, it's a different feeling. It's almost like home. Like, it's kind of like a family reunion. Like, you feel good. Like, we all making money together, And I think the importance of it and the bottom line is you really have to be intentional about doing that.
Absolutely.
Because it is harder to find. It is, if we're honest, it's harder to find. It's also harder to sort of maintain the relationship and keep the relationship because we have a tendency to be harder on those that feel like home, right?
That's true.
And I think,
because how many times do you go off on your family and your friends, those who are there for you, but you go off on them, more than you would your coworker or somebody,
exactly. And then also too, we do ourselves. I think it's important. So then we come to the question of how do you really begin to work with someone who's your family or your friend? And I would offer that you hold them to the same standards that you hold the rest of your clients. And that way you set a tone that allows them to treat you as a professional and you treat them as a professional and y'all can work together.
Yeah, there has to be that respect first and foremost, because a lot of times when you start working with family and friends,
you set it up. You set yourself up and you take the relationship for granted because you're like, oh, that's just my girl, oh, that's just my cousin or whatever, and then you blow it off. But you wouldn't do that if this was just Joe Blow that you were actually introduced to on a professional setting. So you have to start with that respect level, and once you come to it, if you come to the relationship as, I respect you as a professional, I respect your time and your energy, then you be all right. Shelley looking at me crazy because I'm pouring some more Corbel. But it's okay.
Not crazy. No judgment.
Like,
no judgment.
Like
I will probably be doing the same. Like I said earlier, it's been a long week.
But even deeper than just, you as an entrepreneur, as the head of the, your particular business, approaching the situation that way. I mean, make them sign a contract.
Oh yeah.
You own a home, make them sign a lease. Put these things in place so that they respect you, so that they respect the relationship, so that you create a tone for the relationship. And I'm not saying just throw it all in their face. You can still be kind and present a contract. You say, clients is I do X, Y, Z. So here's the contract. I need you to sign that. That's the way we start off our relationship. And have that, and don't be scared to do that with your, you know, with your people. Don't be scared to do that with your people, because what it does is it avoids any of that back and forth and she did this and you know it.
We didn't talk about that.
Right, exactly. So avoid that altogether by treating them the same way. And I don't mean like treating them completely like a stranger. The way you use the relationship is like, I do business all the time with my cousin Kimberly Green. She has a clothing line, and so I did her launch party and things like that. So instead of utilizing the relationship to forego the business side of the business, i.e. the contract, the you know, the exchange of services, the exchange that we have to make, the agreements that we have to make. That's not where you use the relationship. You use the relationship to make the actual product better.
Right.
So because I know that Kim likes gold and not silver, right? That's what you use. You know, you use the fact that you know what her aesthetic is like. You know, I know that Kim likes splashy things. I know she likes things to be more sparkly. And, you know, she went to school in Louisiana. So a lot of the things that she is attracted to are a little bit more razzle-dazzle than, you know, the average person's style and things like that. And so I use that. That is the part that you use. The stuff that you know that caters to whatever you're providing.
Right.
Not you don't use it as an excuse to be laxed in your business, you know, your sort of execution of business.
Right.
And the business side of things, the execution of the most important part to me, really, as an attorney. That's the most important part to me. So that's how I feel about that. And I think that it's important that we, you know, understand that. And so, granted, me and Shelley might be a little bit biased. Like,
because we're friends doing this podcast together.
Exactly. Yeah. And we do a lot together. Like,
we actually do a lot together. Yeah.
We do a lot of business together. I think, in fact, our relationship as friends started doing business together. Like, we became friends through doing business together and enjoying working together.
Right.
And that's okay. That's great. But that says something. It debunks the stereotype that
women can't work together, especially black women.
Right.
Black women can't work together.
Right. It debunks that stereotype. It debunks the stereotype that, you know, you shouldn't work with your friends or family. It debunks all of that.
Exactly.
It blows it out of the water. And so, and I think there are a lot of examples of people who are making good money. Look at the Braxtons. Look at, you know, different, you know, companies that are companies within companies. Like,
say what you want about the Kardashians. I know black folks don't like it, but they family and they making hand over fist in all of their businesses. So,
or even the Simmons, like they. Oh yeah. You know, the Simmons do good money, do good business together. And even the Simmons. Angela.
I'm sure there's more.
You know, Reverend Run's kids, all of them. I mean, there are plenty of examples, and it's usually in the upper echelon where we see people who are doing good business together.
Because they get it.
Yeah, and it's important, and I think it's okay, and I don't want people to be so afraid of that, you know.
Absolutely.
So we're approaching the 30-minute mark. We never really discussed how long we want these to be. I think
they don't have to be long just for the sake of being long.
Right, exactly. You know? I think that's all we really got to say.
If you know, we put it out there. You know, I know with guests, we'll probably be another hour because that's another person talking. Yeah. So, you know, this was a good, you know, introduction to who we are, our points of view. Yeah. Indeed,
and you get to hear our little personalities and how we view things. So, I look forward to seeing how you guys respond. Please like, comment, share, follow us, like us, whatever there is, you know, participate, engage
And please tell us any topics you think you want us to cover, related to, being a Black professional. I know we have some good ones in store, but we're always looking for more ideas. So if you have some, comment or email us. What's our email address?
It is Black Esquire Podcast at gmail.com. Again, that's Black Esquire Podcast at gmail.com. If you have a particular situation at work, if you have a particular situation that is troubling you with regards to your career, please email us, and we'll do like the sort of Dear Abby, situations. Yeah. Because Shelley does, professionally does career counseling.
Yes.
And guidance. Like, she helps people laterally transfer. She helps people negotiate their wages. She has a wealth of knowledge on this topic, as do I. I'm not a legal recruiter, but I do resumes. I have obviously went to law school and undergrad and had a slew of different internships and things. Mm-hmm. You can just look me up on LinkedIn, add me there. I don't really too much reject nobody on LinkedIn. So
I don't either. I accept everybody.
Right, because I'm like,
even random people like barbers and, and mechanics. Like, I'm like, why are you?
I don't know why you look.
I don't know, but you never know who you're gonna need. So I'm gonna go ahead and add you. Exactly. You might know somebody who need a job that I can help. Exactly. I do want to give us the opportunity to say all our little things that we do, because we both do a whole lot. I am an attorney. I don't really want to tell y'all where I work, because I just don't. But I do work for the state. I am a event planner. Luxury Experiences is my event planning company. I can be found at luxshelley.com. I can also be found at Luxury Experiences across all social platforms. I am also a grant writer, and I help consult with nonprofits and for-profits, small for-profits, for formulating their businesses and sort of different strategy in terms of growth of their business. And I think that's all I do. Oh, and I very involved with the Cook County Bar Association in the Cook County Bar Association Foundation. I am the head of their legal clinic, and we will be having a 5K. Yes.
April 21st. April 21st.
Saturday, April 21st.
Saturday the 21st at 8 a.m. in Washington Park, which we are very excited about. And 2 days before that, we'll be doing a live taping.
Yes.
Which we want you all to attend. We want to meet you guys. We want to learn more about you. Right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Wednesday. Yeah. So,
Yep.
So that's the 19th, April 19th, we'll be doing the live taping. April 21st, we'll be doing the 5K. We'll be at the 5K.
Right.
So.
Oh, and just in case I don't know when you all are listening to it. Today is Saturday, October 7th, 2017. So you kind of get a time frame, because I know you might not know when we recorded this.
You got that from my leak.
I did. Shout out to my leak Teal. If you all don't listen to her podcast, please do so. She's awesome. Yeah. So what I do, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but like I said, I'm a former practicing attorney. When I did practice, I was doing premises liability, employment law, insurance defense, at a firm in New Orleans. Oh, thanks, boo. At a firm in New Orleans. I went to law school in Baton Rouge. Shout out Southern University Law Center. Barred in Louisiana. I'm from Chicago originally. Since I've been back, I now have a legal recruiting company called Legal Bee. It's my baby. I love it. Basically, I place attorneys in temporary and permanent positions with law firms. I have a hive that I like to call them of attorneys. I send them out to do projects temporarily with mostly solo and small firm attorneys. And then I also place attorneys Michelle is recording. I got distracted with her recording. But yeah, then I also place attorneys in permanent positions as well. I'm a career coach, so I speak to attorneys who are looking to, actually they're kind of lost. They don't know what they want to do with their legal career. I actually recently coached somebody, she was getting ready to leave her firm, but she didn't know if she wanted to open her own firm or actually leave the profession altogether. And so I kind of counseled her on kind of what to do and where her strengths lie. And I'm happy to report she's now started her own firm, so I'm so happy. Shout out to Sarah. Hope she's listening.
Shout out to Sarah.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to be taking, new clients, career coaching clients within the next couple weeks. So be looking out for that. Plug. Shameless plug. We're entrepreneurs here, so you have to. That's going to be another podcast. How to promote yourself.
Yes. You gotta do it.
You gotta be like DJ Khaled. Don't be afraid to talk about what it is you're doing and what you have going on. I know I just rambled or whatever, but yeah, so that's what I'm doing. Legal B, you can find us at Legal B LLC on Facebook and Twitter. YouTube, I have a YouTube channel, Legal B TV. I give career advice to employers and candidates who are looking to get more career advice. Also, Cook County Bar Association. I know we've mentioned that a few times because that's how we met, and we're both very active. I'm the Young Lawyers Section Chair for the Cook County Bar Association. So if you are in Chicago, please become a member of the Cook County Bar Association. Come out to the Young Lawyers Section events. We have lots of great stuff in store this year. Another shameless plug.
All the shameless plugs.
Yes.
And we will not have shame about it. But just note that we put y'all on game this podcast. We gave you a black wine connoisseur.
Yes.
We gave you an event planner. Mm-hmm. We gave you some career coaching opportunities. Mm-hmm. We even gave you some events that are happening around town. So you can look forward to those things continuing to happen on our podcast. So again, thank you for tuning in. This has been Black Esquire, and Shelley and Michelle are signing out.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay black, stay Esquires.